Hi class. This week we are moving our focus to curriculum, assessment, and planning. These three topics are so interesting because they're independent in that we could discuss each of these for an extended period of time, but then at the same time they are so interconnected. You'll see as you read this week's section in the curriculum framework a fabulous diagram that explains or rather shows the interconnection between four key elements in the classroom world of curriculum: observing, documenting, planning, and implementing. I especially like the section that begins on page 28, the curriculum planning cycle. Let's look at the diagram for a moment. This answers a very important question. How do I know what to teach? We start by observing. We reflect on what we have observed, and this helps us plan how to proceed. We document the successes and areas for growth as we implement. Then we reflect on our documentation. That documentation helps us plan further and then implement. It's a cycle. Sometimes people try to plan without some of the steps in place. What would that look like? Well, imagine you're trying to implement without having first reflected on what the children are interested in or what they bring in as prior knowledge. You could be presenting things way beyond their developmental level or things they aren't interested in. What if you don't assess? You might not realize that most of the children don't know the names of different fruit, and you're trying to teach them a game that requires that prior knowledge. You need to do a little assessing to see if the game is appropriate. That's just one example. But if we don't assess, we might even miss that several children didn't grasp a concept we were presenting and that we need to try presenting it in a different way. Because many of you will work for state-funded programs and complete DRDPs, it is important to note that assessment for assessment's sake can take over your days if you aren't careful. What do I mean by that? If all we do is gather sticky notes for the DRDPs, then stick them in folders until we tape them in place, we haven't really used that wealth of information that is at our disposal. As we observe and assess, we must take time to reflect on what we have seen, what we have heard, and what we have gathered. Then we take that knowledge and we plan, implement, assess, and reflect all over again. In some ways, it reminds me of doing the laundry. Wash, dry, fold, put away, wear, wash, dry, fold, put away, wear. Okay, it's a little different, but the system works best when all the pieces are in place. Have a great week, and don't hesitate to contact me if I can be of assistance.